I've come to show that they have been playing the game wrong.
I can be pretty quiet. I don't think I'll be like picked up on people's like radar initially.
So I'm back, but I am here to play.
My ego, I'm a Leo, right? I'm a Leo sun. I feel like I have to be proactive here. I have to reach out to people while I can. I go to Rocks for friendship and an ally.
The thing about this that's so crazy, guys, is that I was so 100% committed to the All-Soccer Final Four. This is not good for us at all. What you guys have done is you've just done the same thing that we were criticizing Obsidian for again. They literally blew themselves up, and then we had the majority, and the first thing you guys did was decide to blow it up again?
We did it. Noah's gone. With an idol and a half in his pocket and a steal a vote played at the same tribe while getting my vote out of the game. It's fucking crazy.
I also do really respect that you took my vote, you tried to do all this stuff, no hard will on that. I get that, but...
Yeah, no hard will over this. I'm just reeling a little bit.
Yep.
But
yeah.
I mean,
I'm so excited. I can't believe it worked. It only worked because everything was segmented perfectly. The hour and a half leading to tribal council needed to be set up so precariously that if anything went wrong, someone would have got suspicious and done something, whether it was Ian or otherwise. Weeks of feeling like I'm out of this game, weeks feeling that the moment I don't win immunity, I'm gone. I've had to work around these things this entire game. I haven't gotten crap.
Now there's nothing left, no more powers, hopefully.
And in one fell swoop, in one tribal council, all advantages and idols are donezo. They're gone. Everyone is on an equal playing field.
The moment he didn't play his idol and he started reading the votes, I'm like, done. It's over.
I thought we played that tribal pretty well too. Everybody was playing their role perfectly. Nutty Ian saying crazy shit. George being very calm and collected. Jack just kind of accepting defeat.
Yeah,
it was perfectly played.
Before, a week ago, I was not on board with Ian at all, not even a little. But yeah, things change. Hopefully he gets voted out next week. So, yeah.
It was a pretty eventful tribal.
I'm currently in the scrambling position, and I will acknowledge that.
I really empathize with you.
I thought things were going to be pretty smooth sailing. I should know better. I don't. I figured Lindsay would have worked with us because Taylor went home last week, but so there went my alliance.
Lindsay was obviously actually mad at Jack and Ian, and me too, everyone. But I think she realized probably her position in that group would be different than in this group. It was a perfect situation of Ian would have to play his idol.
looking back, it's really hard not to just beat myself up for everything that happened this week. From the beginning, I truly did not feel great about this plan. I was thinking it looks like Ian truly is with us. I'm so sad. I
was gonna be on the bottom regardless of it. But I'm telling you right now, Ian and George, I don't have any future plans with them.
I just know Ian and George, who's ever in the final two, they're just gonna win.
And I have a feeling that, yeah, I signed it with them this week, but I just have a feeling George and Ian are getting closer and closer.
I just genuinely thought we could trust Lindsay. Like, we truly were in such a good position and we just totally blew it.
I'm actually like rewatching some of the old videos, reminiscing about how much easier life was. Like 18 people left. The only person I 100% trust right now is Jack.
Just going along with whatever she said, like, but she did make a good point about George.
I just don't think this is the week.
It's not. Because...
What they're going to do is they're literally going to trap me and you,
yeah.
And then it's going to be 3-2.
Yep.
Even though he literally did lie to me, like, I'm over it, obviously, but he's the only person I trust. I'd say I trust George next, and then probably Grace. I just hope that Grace forgives me for this, because I'm basically literally, I'm willing to get out George next week, just this isn't the week to do it for me.
All right, so everyone, welcome back to the Final 6 challenge. George, I'm gonna need to take it back, but yep, just thank you. For today's challenge, there are going to be 2 parts. The first part, we will be sending you a puzzle that involves stacking 10 cups, and you're going to need to label your cups like different colors and stuff. It explains it all in the thing that we're going to send you guys. The second part, you guys are going to be doing an endurance challenge where you have to have both your hands and both your feet on the floor in any position that you want, and the longest person to sit in that position wins. Where the puzzle is involved, however fast you do the puzzle is subtracted from your endurance score. So if you take longer on the puzzle, you have more time subtracted from that endurance part, which is bad. One more thing, there will be a difference maker this week. The winner of the challenge is going to be able to pick who the difference maker is. So, big challenge, you win immunity, and you get to pick who the difference maker is. All right, so we'll give you a couple minutes to get your stuff all settled, and then we'll get started. We are sending you your picture right now of what the puzzle is, and this challenge has officially begun. What the hell?
Come on, open. There we go.
Everything's reading. Grace has some stang going on. George's trying to figure it out. Kind of got to trial and error it. I love if I can see everyone's beautiful face just staring intently into their phone right next to their camera. Everyone's working through. Jack's just staring very confusedly at his camera.
I've done it's. Yeah.
And Lindsay's a little hidden behind her cups, but I like it. All right, and George looks like he's gonna be the first one to send me some pictures. So the second I get your picture/video and verify it, that's when your time's gonna stop. And George is incorrect.
I think I got it.
And Lindsay A, with her cups falling down.
Sending another one.
Ian's is incorrect.
That is not true, dude.
And George is incorrect once again.
Wait, what the hell? Oh no, I miswrote these.
Lindsay R has stacked up her cups a bunch of times, and now they are all back on the ground. Grace looks like she's sending me some pictures.
One here is like
whoever's I get first, that's who I will judge first. So Ian and Grace looks like are both sending me stuff. Let's see who gets done first. And Ian is incorrect. And Grace is incorrect as well.
Brady, I'm sending it again.
Jack, it looks like you haven't started stacking once.
I did, in fact, stack to the top and then take it down.
And then take it. Ian is incorrect. Grace is also incorrect. Jack has some stacking going on. Very proud of you, Jack.
Thanks, Brady.
Ian sends some pics. Looks like Lindsay R is sending some pictures too. Ian is correct and will get points based on when he first sent me pictures. So Ian, first one done. And George's stack falls?
I don't even remember where it was.
I don't think stacking the cups was the difficult part of this challenge, but George figured out a way to mess that up.
Okay.
And George is correct. Second person done. Grace looks like she's getting ready to send some stuff. Let's see. And Grace is correct. Third one done at 26 minutes.
I literally have no fucking idea.
I'm checking Jack's right now. And Jack is correct as well. Because both the Lindsays left.
I might just be counting wrong. 1, 2, 3. No, I'm one short.
You lost a cup?
Gracie kind of got some man with the yellow hat vibes from Curious George with the like the thing and then the yellow.
If I told you that's what I was going for, would you?
For real?
No, not at all.
Lindsay R is correct.
Oh my god.
Please, for the love of God, be right. I don't know what else it could be. It fits everything.
All right, and Lindsay A has it correct.
Oh, thank God.
At 40:04. So Ian finished in 10:40. Then George in 22:28. Then Grace in 26:07. Then Jack in 28:52. Then Lindsay R in 37:55. Then Lindsay A in 40:04. Does everyone know what's going on? Both hands, both feet on the ground. If either a hand or a foot ever comes off the ground, then you're out. But we're gonna make it harder, so just listen. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, this challenge has begun.
So there's a song about frogs. It goes like this.
Oh.
One morning when Pharaoh woke up in his bed, there were frogs on his head and frogs on his bed, frogs on his toes and frogs on his nose, frogs here, frogs there, frogs were jumping everywhere. But the truth is, like, I have such a head start on you guys should all just give up now, honestly.
Working with Ian is really fun.
We are 9 minutes into this challenge. At the 10-minute mark, we're asking everyone to get into a downward dog position. Does everyone know what that is? So you guys are stuck here. If you get out of this position, then you're out.
I'm not flexible at all. It's hurting so bad.
You guys are 12 minutes into this challenge. Good work. But I think this twist just made it a lot harder for everyone.
I'm done.
All right, Lindsay R is out of this challenge. Mathematically impossible for you to win, considering Ian, the leader, is still in right now.
Oh my god.
I mean, kind of feels like you should just
Fuck
give
it. There's
All
no
right,
way that's happening. I already can't feel my legs.
Lindsay A is officially out of this challenge.
That could really come back to bone me, but there's just no way.
Grace is also out of this challenge. Didn't think she could overcome the 16-minute gap between her and Ian.
I could do this all day, boys.
As he's shifting around.
You can tilt your head, but if I see any other movement, you might be out of the challenge. George starting to shake a little bit. Looks like he's hurting.
No, that's just a glitch in the video.
For reference, we are currently 17 minutes into this challenge.
That hurts.
And Jack is out of this challenge.
All right, George.
What?
Here's the deal. Whichever one of us wins makes the other one difference maker. Like, if you drop, I'll make you difference maker.
I agree, I'll do the same.
Okay.
Okay.
George is
You'll
panting.
think, dude.
George is out of this challenge, meaning Ian
Let's
wins
go!
individual immunity. Congratulations, Ian. Wow. Just so you guys know, that challenge lasted 22 minutes. All right. So, Ian, congratulations. You will have individual immunity this week, and who are you going to make the difference maker?
George, I'm a man of my word.
Thank you.
All right. So George will be our difference maker. With Ian immune this week, one of the other 5 will be voted out this week at Tribal Council. So, see you there later this week. Grab your stuff, head on out. Good night, except for George, because y'all have the difference pool.
Thank you, Ian. George, you okay?
I'm fine. Alright. Oh my god, I finally have something. I did it. The difference board, it's here. Oh my god. I'll be Survivor player.
Congratulations. You are the Week 13 difference maker. You got picked to make a difference this week. Now you can attempt to return the favor and make a difference next week. You have the power to impose an advantage and a disadvantage on any person in the next challenge. You are allowed to give the advantage or disadvantage to yourself. If you are voted out this week, you must declare in your chat who is getting the advantage and the disadvantage. So basically, next week, I am able to give an advantage and a disadvantage.
The relationships I've built in this game, even when they've been betrayed or they've fallen apart, they've come back together. And the fact that somehow the Quesadilla 3 now got on the same page after everything that happened.
We made the biggest move of the game.
Yes.
We literally just made the biggest move of the game.
Do you know how
Noah
mad?
had no idea.
Do you know how mad I am that I didn't get to write Noah's name down? I'm so mad.
I was living week to week, and now I can finally think about my path to the end. This vote this week, I don't think Ian's gonna pull anything crazy, and even if he did, it would be a tie.
Oh, what's this you say? Oh, that's just my immunity necklace from winning the Final 6 challenge. Here I sit on the glorious day of celebrating the Final 5 with my pizza, my beer, and now Catan. I will be on my way to the Final 5 with a date of destiny. Final Tribal Council. All of my enemies have fallen by the wayside. Oh, shit.
Hi. So, my little drama queen moment's over. Don't worry, we're back in business. I genuinely believe everyone deserves to throw themselves a little pity party every once in a while and remember who the fuck you are and get back into it. So, obviously I'm not in a great spot. I've talked to Ian a lot and...
Me to be 100% honest with you?
Yes.
Noah and I made a final 2 on day 1. We have been working together every single day since.
I feel like in a way it was good because I truly just got all my secrets out there and I was like, look, Ian, like, he is smart enough to realize that if he sticks with me and Sokka Lindsay, especially because I told him it was the final 3.
I have to tell you something.
Oh my god. It's a Final 3?
If you tell people this, I swear to fucking God, I am telling you this because I trust you and I want to work with you.
Okay.
It's a final 3.
I fucking knew it. That's what he saw for Difference Maker?
Yes.
Was that at Final 4, whoever wins it, they're immune. They pick somebody else in the last 2 battle it? Grace calls me up and we have this long conversation with, like, Grace, who are you trying to kid right now? Lindsay and Jack and George already told me everything. Grace is lucky as fuck that I won this challenge because no way in hell would I be willing to go to Rocks at Final 6. And yeah, would I prefer it to be George, Jack, or Lindsay? Of course. Of course I would, because I want the majority. I want the majority again. I want the majority like I haven't had the majority since this merge began.
Like, we've come up with a lot of different plans. So the first plan we had was to pretend that Noah gave me his idol.
Grace told Ian that she had an idol. She said that Noah gave her the idol back, which would kind of make sense because Grace gave Noah his idol. She produced some, like, suspect screenshots.
She told me all of that, and I'm just like, I feel like this is bullshit.
Why didn't she tell you that yesterday?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it's a lie.
I don't know why she would have told me yesterday.
Totally fake text. Like, I was like texting myself, pretending I was Noah. And I was like in the middle of a conversation, like Noah was like, hey, like, what if I gave you the idol just in case, since like yours is the only name that really hasn't been thrown out this week. And I was like, okay, sounds good.
One, yeah, he's definitely playing both sides because, I mean, I sent you that screenshot of whatever, and like Ian just assumes next week, yeah, me, you, and whoever stays around, we're gonna vote out either Jack or Lindsay, and then I guess he goes to you, and it's just like, yeah, we gotta vote out George. So that's...
And I don't like playing like that. Like,
nope.
Maybe if we're all just like chill, you know, agreeing, maybe he'll feel confident enough to get rid of Grace.
If we just act like we're so like riding the high of that last vote and we're a group that can bulldoze the game, like, I don't think he'll see through that.
I think we need to vote out Lindsay, but to do that, I feel like I need to trust George, and George has been a wild card all game with his standing with me. We're just gonna tell Ian that we're voting Grace. I'm just kind of worried about the idol because that would be a shame if that worked. Me, Jack, and George vote Lindsay. Hopefully Ian's keeping his word and voting Grace, and then Lindsay and Grace can kind of like do whatever. I'm sure they'll vote for me because I'm such a bad person. I'm such a liar. Like, oh.
I think we're a solid 4. I'm fine with that. And like, I was trying to think if there's like a way like each of us want to vote, like specifically, just to make sure. But like, I don't know.
And then on the off chance that Ian doesn't vote with, like, for Grace and tries to tie the vote, I think that could be bad. And so on the off chance that happens, at least it would be a tie. Yeah, hopefully someone would switch. But yeah, I don't know. This vote could be so simple, but I feel like people lie. Like, everyone's just been lying to each other.
Basically, there are 4 different plans that may go into effect today. Plan A is that Grace and Lindsay A are going to go to Jack and Lindsay and get them to flip on George.
Don't want it to seem like I just know I'm on the bottom, so I'm like scrambling or whatever. I've just really been thinking a lot, and like, so Ian still just won't talk to me, or like every time I try to talk to him, he's just like not giving me like solid answers.
Plan B, Grace is going to go to Lindsay R and tell her about the final 3, tell her about the fire making challenge, tell her everything, and basically explain to her that if you don't want George or Ian to win the game, you have to get George out now, because if they both make final 5, one of them's guaranteed to make final 4, will probably win the challenge and go on to win the game.
George has to know, like, he's kind of on everyone's radar. Like, I don't think it'd be the end of the world.
And like, honestly, yeah, he's backstabbed me before, so it'd just be like, dude, I was doing what you're doing.
Yeah, just like karma at that point.
And we go to plan C. So we go to George and we tell him, look, George, we're going to Rocks. Me, Grace, and Lindsay A, we're voting together. We're not flipping. We're putting all the votes on Lindsay R. Onto plan D, which would be if I can get writing from George, like via text or something, that he is willing to flip on Lindsay R, then we spin it back around, baby, like a twirly whirl or something. It's rock draw with George, whether it's rock draw with Lindsay R. As far as I'm concerned, I don't really care as long as one of them goes this week. I want it to be George. He's my biggest threat, I think. That's how it's going down.
Ian wants to take us to the final 3. I, on a personal level, don't think I want to end up in the final with Ian, but he makes a good point that if we end up in the final with an Obsidian person, we may have lost. Because this is our last chance to get out George, and they have to understand that.
I really tried this week. You know, even though the first day was pretty bad, this honestly ended up being a really good last week. If this is my last week, I had such a good time, and I don't know.
I'm willing to get out George next week, just this isn't the week to do it for me, because it would just put me and Jack in a potentially bad spot. Wish she did tell me sooner, because I think I would trust her a lot more. It would, like, it's like a thing where, no, we have to vote out George this week. It has to be this week, which makes me nervous. So, yeah, it's gonna be fun.
All right, come on in, guys. All right, welcome everyone to the Mimosas Tribe's Final 6 Tribal Council. Ian, right when Noah left, or right before he left, you kind of taunted him, and obviously you played an idol to get him out. So do you take full credit for the move last week to get Noah out?
No, not at all. I mean, I take some credit for playing the idol, but honestly, it was like a lot of other people who initiated. Like, Lindsay was the one who really made that all happen. Like, she came to me like an hour before Tribal and was like, yo, man, they're all lying to you. Here's the deal.
So, Lindsay, was that your move then, if it wasn't Ian's move?
I mean, like you said, I think I initiated it, and like I was the one to lie, and like I feel bad about that, but
it's a group decision, you know. Like, all these things are like, it's not just one person move.
Yeah, it was a lot of moving parts because, I mean, we all had to play our part at Tribal specifically as well, because, you know, if we weren't all sad, then, you know, it would have seemed like whatever, so.
Lindsay, obviously you played an advantage last week, so what was your motivation behind playing that? Because obviously it seemingly didn't work out.
Well, I mean, all level, it's pretty obvious what happened there. It was trying to get a big target out, and we were trying to do what, what...
You got a big target out.
We got the other target out. So, I mean, once Phil went home, I just had no control over it. So, yeah, like, that was the motive. Obviously, it blew up in my face, and I'm kind of at the I'm kind of at the mercy of everybody else right now. But yeah, that was the motivation. Sorry, Ian.
Grace, obviously it's getting to the point where you guys need to vote the threats. Who's next up? Who are the next big threats?
I'm just gonna say it, George and Ian. Like, going after me or Lindsay just because we tried to get someone out last week that people have wanted out since the merge. If they vote us out when there are much bigger threats in the game, like, I think that they're really gonna regret that.
George, obviously, you and Ian are labeled as threats. Ian's immune.
Definitely see votes coming towards me. I wanted to keep an open line of communication with both Lindsay and Grace even after us four made a move, but I also fully expect them to not tell me something if they're going to be gunning for me, and I also totally respect that as well. Yeah, I don't blame them.
Jack, so obviously right now in this tribe there are 3 original Obsidian members, 3 original Sokka members. Do you think that's where the votes are going to go this week? Do we have a chance at Rocks? What do you think's going on?
Like Grace said, as the numbers dwindle and you don't know who's going to win immunity each week, you kind of have to take out the big threats as they come. So that's kind of been my thinking. I think that's what everyone else is thinking.
Lindsay R. Honestly, last week there was a big reminder that there are advantages. Is that a fear of happening this week, or is it not really on anyone's mind?
Like, there's still advantages out and about.
I'm saying last week, obviously, Lindsay used her advantage, Ian used an idol, so it's just a reminder that they are a part of the game. Is that a fear this week, or not really?
I mean, I hope not. I don't think it is. If someone pulls out advantage, I'm gonna be like, come on.
Grace claimed she had an idol. No one believed it. If that's true, I guess it'll be good for her that none of us believed it.
You just vote.
You just want to vote?
Yeah, I really do.
Does everyone else just want to vote?
Wow.
Hey,
We've had a crazy 4 weeks of tribal, and now it's just fuck it.
Alright, so I guess with that, it is time to vote. Everyone please mute yourselves, write your vote in the chat, then put your hands on your head so that we know it's not time to announce. Alright, if anyone has a hidden immune idol like to play it, now would be the time to do so.
Greedy.
Yep.
Just kidding, I don't have that. I'm sorry.
Alright.
Almost gave me a heart attack.
I was bored, I wanted to see if anyone would react.
And there it goes. So when I read the votes, the decision is final. The person being voted out will be asked to leave the Zoom chat immediately. I'll read the votes. First vote. George. Second vote. Lindsay Adams. Third vote. George. That's 2 votes George, 1 vote Lindsay, 3 votes left. Lindsay. George. That's 3 votes George, 2 votes Lindsay, 1 vote left. Lindsay. So we have a tied vote, that's 3-3. So the way we've been doing this all season is no discussion, we're going right into voting. Everyone will vote except for George and Lindsay. Everyone else must vote for one of those 2. So please vote again, everyone, either for George or for Lindsay. And then mute yourselves, put your hands on your head when you're done. Thanks. Alright, for the second time tonight, I'll go tally the votes. Alright. As immune idols cannot be played on a revote, when the votes are read, the decision is final. The person being voted out will be asked to leave the Zoom chat immediately. I'll read the votes. First vote. George. George. Third vote. Lindsay. Fourth vote. Lindsay. Alright, so, the way this works, I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes to discuss. If you cannot come to an agreement, then we'll go to Rocks. Your time starts now, start discussing.
This is a mess.
Yeah.
What's going on, Lindsay?
So this is why this happened. Wow. Yeah, it was really dangerous. Ian, why did you do that?
Why did you guys do that? You guys lied to me who you were voting for, clearly. So you would have a fair claim to accuse me of that if you hadn't just lied to me too.
Because we were scared this kind of stuff would happen, and if we told you who to vote and that idol was real, that's why it was gonna go
No
down.
chance that idol was real, dude. I didn't believe that. How could you guys have believed that?
We didn't believe
Noah wasn't gonna give his idol away. He didn't think he was going.
You think Noah was gonna give Grace his idol?
He did not. The whole point of all of this was no variables, no nothing. This is the easy vote. This is whatever. And the only minor problem with that is if you went to them and there might have been an idol. So that's why that happened, Ian. That's why. Why would you go with them?
Grace came to me. Grace came to me right before Tribal. Grace came to me 5 minutes before Tribal and said everyone's voting George. Like, she went on this whole diatribe. It seemed like that's what I thought was happening. She was like, George is lying to you. Like, they're all voting George. Like,
You called me right before Tribal, and I told you it was fine.
They told us about their meeting that they had.
That wasn't. I don't know, dude.
No.
They told me, Grace told me some stuff that made it sound like they were definitely voting you. She convinced me like 10 minutes before Tribal. She told me some stuff like, I honestly don't know if I can tell you it or not because I don't know if I can trust you now. But like, she told me some stuff that made me seem that maybe.
If you guys don't click on George, you're literally giving him the game. Like that.
Yeah, that's the thing. This is the last.
Am I gonna vote for George and then get voted out next week?
I literally told you I want Ian out next
Yes.
week.
Ian out next week. Ian
No.
is just like
Okay, wait a sec.
Ian and
You want?
George. They
I would be so stupid to take Ian to the end. Are you kidding me?
Okay. Yeah.
Why should I be?
Oh, no, hold on. No, hold on. Lizzie, I have been desperate.
Wait a second.
For this, no. For
I'm
this.
not going to Rocks, guys. I'm not.
Okay, fine. Lindsay, you don't want to go to Rocks? Do you want Grace out? She just said she wants me out next.
Unanimous decision.
I don't want to go to Rocks. I'm sorry.
Would that be unanimous on Grace?
No, it has to be unanimous on Lindsay, doesn't it?
Oh wait, fuck. It has to be on Lindsay.
Yes.
Oh god damn it.
Thanks, Ian.
Ian.
I forgot they didn't vote for you for a second.
If you guys don't get George out, you handed him the goddamn game. That's the thing. That's where
It's
it's
not
at.
true. You are not getting to the end if I am not with you guys. You need me at this point.
Are you fucking kidding me? Are you gonna tell me that?
Not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you like need me to get to the end like that. I mean, they're voting you and Jack out next.
Oh, you think I'm just gonna get voted out next?
There's 3 Sokka, and clearly they didn't vote with us.
You guys have 2 minutes of discussion left. 2 minutes left.
Please.
Lindsay, were you guys, so what was the plan? You guys were all gonna vote me out next week? Is that the deal? So Grace lied to me right before travel. You guys were gonna.
No, literally, my whole thing is I want to get out big targets, but I really don't feel like going into a 3 versus 2 like thing. Like I was terrified that like you guys would just vote me and Jack out like boom boom.
That's what just happened. Ian just lied to us and then voted. You think right before Tribal Council, Grace just like told him something and he was gonna go with it?
She told me it's a final 3, that it's not a final 2. Noah lied about all of that. That it's actually a final 3 fire making challenge at 4, like real Survivor. That next week is the last actual Tribal. And
So
all the.
if you guys don't get George out, he has an advantage at the next challenge. He's literally gonna win this game.
She gave me that. She gave me that pitch right before Tribal.
If you think
You
you can
guys
beat him
have
at the end,
1
I
minute
respect
left.
your balls because you
Minute.
have more balls than I do.
Grace, why are you just saying this now? Why didn't you tell us it was final
Because made
champ
up.
or whatever before?
I told Lindsay.
It's
Lindsay
not made
said
up.
that.
There's
Oh,
no
you're
way there'd be a
correct.
final 2 with 20 people. It made complete sense. I knew Noah was lying about that.
Lying to you or you're lying to us. It doesn't make sense. You're doing this to make it a tie because you don't have to go to Rocks because you're safe. That's why this is happening. It puts you in the better position. Either you're lying or Grace is lying. There's no way.
I'm not lying.
No, like you have been honest with me about that.
Yeah, no, Jack, I'm sorry I didn't tell you. I truly wanted to. I just really thought you were going to tell George, and then it was all going to blow up. And last second, I felt like I needed to tell Ian because that was the only way he was going to vote George.
I get it.
I'm curious about this. Like,
If you want me to prove anything or whatever, I'll even give the disadvantage to myself next week and give an advantage. You guys aren't in a good position next week. If
George,
I'm,
do you think, like, I think I'm the next one out if you go this week, 100%. Like, that's why I refused to vote you all week until they came to me with this and they were like, this is what everyone else is doing. Like, this is the only way.
Okay, but Lindsay and Jack should definitely feel that way. I'm not trying to impose anything over you.
Rocks. I've made it this far and I don't want to go to Rocks.
And what are you doing?
Please don't do this.
If you're not going to vote out Lindsay this week, why wouldn't, like, are you going to do it next week?
Yeah, who do you guys vote out next week then?
I'm saying I want to vote Ian next week. Ian literally knows this. Ian has not given me the time of day all week.
We
So
tried
we're
to back
total, and the only way he was going to believe me is if I told him about this final three.
All right, I hate to break this up, but I'm going to ask for a consensus. Or not a consensus, just right now. I'm asking, like, what are you guys thinking? Is there a consensus right now, or do you guys need more time to discuss?
Clearly, we need more time.
What? Who's like? Is there anyone who's like putting their foot down? Like it's this person, or we're going to rocks?
I feel like you're gonna do that, Ian.
I'm not doing that.
I'm not.
Ian, you're
I'm voting George.
Grace, there's no way.
No way, what?
You're putting your foot down no matter what. Because it has to be unanimous.
I'm not voting Lindsay out.
All right, so it sounds like the other three, you need to decide to vote George or if you're going to rocks.
Please.
Lindsay, what are you thinking?
Jack!
I bit my lip so hard I'm bleeding.
Listen, I know you guys voted against me this week. I get it, but I'm so serious. I'm not taking Ian to the end.
She said that about Noah too. Please. You are not going to be safe.
I wasn't taking Noah to the end.
Okay, I want Ian gone. I want Ian gone if you guys... I don't know. So...
He'll just win the challenge.
Like you wouldn't, though.
I don't think you guys should believe that. You are then at the mercy of all three of them.
I've been honest this entire week.
Grace, would you vote out Lindsay if George gave you the advantage?
No.
Either a 1/3 chance this week or a 50-50 chance week that both you, Jack, or you, Lindsay, are going.
Yeah.
I'm not.
George, like, if Grace hadn't told me that, like, thing, like, an hour before Tribal, I really would have wanted to go to Final 3 with you, but, like, just, like, for my own game, I know it would have been a Final 4, and you would have won because you're so good at challenges, and you would have just taken back and been like...
I will just give myself the disadvantage. I don't even care. I swear on my life I'll do it.
I'm not lying about this. I literally, after Tribal, like, I just can't right now.
Lindsay, what are you doing?
Please don't do this.
What are you doing, Jack?
What are you doing, Ian?
If you guys are gonna vote me out no matter what happens, why should I don't even know what is best for me at that point, you know? Like,
all right, guys, looks like the discussion is dying down. I'm gonna need decisions from everyone. So, Grace, seems like you're pretty stuck on George, is that right?
Yes.
All right, Lindsay, Jack, and Ian, you guys all agree to vote George out, or are we going to rocks? Got a nod from Lindsay, Jack, and Ian?
Yeah.
Jack, Ian?
It's George.
All right. So that means the 15th person voted out of this game, and the 8th member of our jury is George.
I'm so sorry, George.
Sorry, George.
George, I'm sorry.
So George, can you please leave the chat? All right, with yet another exciting Merge Tribal Council, you guys avoided going to rocks, but not without your emotions getting a little distraught. So, grab your pen out. Good night. I'll see you guys next week.
I respect it, and I get it, and I totally understand. It's been really fun being on this side of it all, coming back after all these years and trying my hand at the other side of things. I had a lot of good times. Hope I made all the people that I told going into this that I was doing this proud, but good luck to all of them. They deserve to be here. I just wish I could be there.
I wasn't sure. I was like maybe 45% sure that Lindsay was going to actually vote George. You know, Grace was telling me right before Tribal that Lindsay had told her she was actually going to do it. What surprised me was two things. Firstly, that they had been lying to me all week and actually planned to vote Sokka Lindsay, and we're just going to vote whichever way I didn't on the off chance Grace had an idol. Also surprised me was just how quickly Lindsay was willing to throw George under the bus. I mean, basically, as soon as we started going into the discussion period, Lindsay just laughs and goes, haha, I'm not going to rocks, George. And from that point on, it was all over but the crying and celebration. I mean,
I can't believe they agreed to vote out George unanimously.
Oh my god, that was scary. I was like, oh shit, they're putting the rocks, aren't they?
Dude, that was insane. Dude, you know why I was waiting? Because I wanted to say it's George, just like it's Liz.
I know you did. I saw it. You said it, and I was like, whoa.
I knew you were gonna say it. I can fucking.
George is probably so unbelievably mad right now.
He was crying on the call, right?
Yeah. Thing is, I mean, at this point, Grace has been lying to me for months on end. I'm losing. I mean, I barely slept last night thinking about this Final 5 tribal. I have no idea what's gonna happen. I'm at the mercy and whims of Grace and Sokka Lindsay. None of us have any chance without each other. I feel like. I believe that. I don't know. Do you believe that? Like.
No, I believe that too. There's no way. And Obsidian makes it to the end.
Like, they're going to actually try really hard this week to convince you guys that, like, you guys will have zero chance against me or whatever, but, like, I honestly don't think it's true for one thing. But I'm now realizing that, you know, getting rid of George may have been a mistake because it's possible that it's just me and that's it. I'm not going to go down without a fight, obviously. I haven't come this far to lose. I came this far to win. I mean, I've played the best game of anyone. Am I a dead man walking now? Like, are they just going to be like, yeah, we shall vote out Ian?
But now Grace and Lindsay are in an amazing spot. Like, neither of them are going this week, no matter what happens.
And I truly do feel so bad for George, and I feel so bad. I was really trying to stand my ground, and I wasn't gonna flip. I absolutely was not gonna flip. I think if any of us had any reason to flip this week, it would be me, because I know Ian's not going to. Like, clearly that just showed that Ian is with us all the way.
Of course, Grace acted like she had no idea and just went along with it because we've lied to her weeks in a row, and it's too late for us to just expect her to side with us.
We're in the ARB training for the next few immunity challenges. Ian is still here. We're down in numbers and we need to win.
I'm scared that this may be the end of the line for me. If Grace is honest and wants Ian out, that would be really great for me, but I just don't see why she would want to keep me around because, you know, I've lied to her 2 times.
I don't know. I think she's still with me over Ian, and if I was like, look, like, we can't take Ian to the end, like, we have to get out, like we have to get Ian out, like, I feel like she would have to be with me, honestly.
My plan for now is to just vote Ian if he's not gonna win this challenge. I'm the one who hasn't been trusting her with what she wants to do. I'm the one that's been lying to her, so I'm putting all my trust into her hands. Grace said she's willing to vote Lindsay, which I believe that. Like, we'll just see how this goes.
Lindsay, what do you think of Tribal this week?
Bad.
Bad?
So bad.
Do you think one of us is gonna go home?
Thank you.
All right, come on in, guys. Welcome to Mosa Tribe. So once again, individual immunity is back up for grabs. So Ian, I'm gonna need that back.
Here you go.
Can you just mail it to me? I'll get it in like 3 to 7 days.
I can also just keep it if that's cool with you.
So for today's challenge, you will be doing a board game. What's gonna happen is you guys are each gonna take turns rolling a dice. Once you roll the dice, whatever color square you land on, you're gonna get a question based on the color of the square. If you get the question wrong, you don't get to advance that number. So there are black, white, pink, and orange tiles, as you guys can see. So the black squares, those questions will be about challenges that we've done. The white squares will be about tribal council. The pink squares will be questions about the theme of the season, aka the Michigan difference. The orange squares will be about contestants. So as you can also see, some of the space on the board have torches. Those will give you additional powers if you land on them, good or bad. Use of notes, spreadsheets, roommates, others, anything of that sort, not allowed. The only thing you're allowed to use for information is your brain. First person to get to the finish square will win individual immunity. One more thing before we start. George was the difference maker last week, and one of his powers was that he gets to give someone an advantage in this challenge and give someone else a disadvantage. He gave the advantage to Jack and the disadvantage to Ian. Jack, for your advantage, you'll be able to pick the order of what you guys will go in, as well as be able to get one free roll whenever you want in the game. Ian, for your disadvantage, you lose your first roll of the game. Cool. So, Jack, what's the order?
This is so silly.
Oh, I don't like that I have to choose. Just the way that the faces are right now, except with me first.
Okay, so you, Grace, Lindsay A, Lindsay R, Ian.
Sure.
All right. So, Jack, go for it. Roll a dice or a
All right,
number
I have my
generator.
simulated die. It's a 3.
It's a 3. All right. Your question is, how many different people have been difference maker?
7.
That is incorrect.
Oh.
You're back to the start. So Grace is up next.
Oh, man.
Your question is, what tribe never went to tribal council alone?
Old Obsidian.
That is incorrect. All right, so Lindsay A is up next.
It's a 4.
Which two contestants' home state is Illinois?
Noah and Taylor. I don't know.
That is incorrect. Back to the beginning once again. 0 for 3, guys. Come on. All right, Lindsay, up to you.
I got a 1.
You get the same question as Grace. Which tribe never went to tribal council alone?
Opaka.
That is correct. So congratulations, you get that 1 space. Ian, your turn is skipped. Jack, you're back up.
Awesome.
Who was the first person voted out of the game?
Jay.
That is correct. You get that 1 space. All right, Grace, you're up next.
5.
How many tribal councils took place outside?
7.
That is incorrect. Back to the beginning.
I got a 1.
Got a 1. All right. How many times has a vote gone to a revote post-merge?
Only once, right?
That is correct. You get the space. Look at you guys all cuddled together on the first spot. This is adorable.
So pathetic. I got a 5.
Name one of the 2 people that were ranked number 1 in the Idle Hands Challenge, which was the one, if you remember, it was the ping pong battle with the cup.
I feel like George.
That is correct. You get the spaces. Congratulations.
4.
4, all right. That puts you on orange space. Exactly how tall is Luke?
What? 6'2".
That is incorrect. Back to the beginning for Ian.
I'd like to use my free roll.
Go for it.
All right, hopefully it's not a 1 again. No!
It is in fact a 1, so congratulations. You get a free single space.
Awesome.
I got a 5 again.
So again, answer this question correctly and you get a special power from the torch. Which contestant in the game received the greatest overall number of votes?
Emily.
That is correct.
Hey!
So you get the spaces. Your advantage or disadvantage is you get to miss your next turn. So your next turn is skipped. Sorry.
That's an advantage?
Jesus Christ.
I got a 4.
Phagus has 2 majors. In what 2 schools are those majors in?
Ross and engineering.
That is correct. You get those squares. Congratulations. A 6 for Ian. What scavenger hunt task was worth the fewest number of points?
My guess is the diag proposal if they didn't say yes.
That is correct. Ian gets all 6 spaces. That was the right answer. Proposing to a stranger and they say no. A 3. Land on a torch as well. Woo. How many people have been voted out by exactly 9 votes? So they got 9 votes in the tribal council where they were voted out. How many people were voted out that way?
2.
That is correct. So Jack gets a space. He also gets torch 3, which means he gets to roll again. So
Yes!
Jack,
Okay, thank God, thank God.
finally got a good torch.
Yeah, okay, one of them does not suck.
Another 3. The point value of which scavenger hunt task was dependent on the speed of each tribe completing it?
The eating a pizza challenge.
That is correct. So Jack gets those 3 points, taking a commanding lead over everyone right now. Name the people that voted at a tribal council that was not for their own tribe.
Okay, Noah and Ellie.
That is correct. Ian gets a spot, lands on that third torch, also gets to roll again. 5. What type of engineering is Emily majoring in?
I think it's like biomolecular.
That is incorrect. Okay, repeat question. How many tribal councils took place outside?
4.
That is correct. Finally moved off that spot. Lindsay Adams gives a little cheer, even though she is still stuck behind. A 6 again.
Yeah.
Name everyone who has never received a vote.
Grace, Lindsay R, and Phages.
That is correct. Ian gets that correct, lands on another torch. That is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 torch. That means that you get to pick another player to move ahead 2 spaces.
Okay, then I pick Grace.
All right, Grace. Congratulations, you're moving up in the world.
Oh, thanks, Ian.
6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another question about tribal councils. Which person has cast the most votes in the game?
Lindsay A.
That is the correct answer. All right, Ian, back up to you.
3.
3 puts you 1 spot in front of the finish line. Name everyone that participated in the wall sit part of the telephone challenge.
Justin, Lindsay A, T-Rex, Emily.
That is correct. Ian is now 1 spot away from the finish line. Ian, you're the first one to the final spot. However, to get to the spot, you must answer this question, and you can't answer it publicly. You have to text in your producer chat. How many total votes has each person left in the game received?
All right, Brady. I said what I believe to be hopefully my final answer.
All right, let me check. And Ian has 1 individual annuity. Correct answer is Lindsay A, 13, Ian 7, Jack 4, Lindsay R, and Grace 0. Congratulations. Ian already put on a necklace. Congratulations. Challenge took 2.5 hours. Ian is coming out victorious. Meanwhile, one of the rest of you guys will be voted out tribal council. Grab your stuff, head on out. Good night, everyone.
Let's go.
I mean, throw whatever disadvantage at me you want. I'll roll as many 6s as it takes. I'll skip as many turns as George wants to hand me. I still won.
Honestly, I'm gonna send you guys like screenshots of whatever they send me. Like I'm just gonna
If I get anything, I'll do the same thing, but it's been radio silence from them for me. I haven't heard a word.
Can't make the wrong decision. That's what's aching at me. You know, it's so easy to sit back as a viewer and watch and think, oh, well, Wu's an idiot for taking Tony to the end, or you know. But when you're in that position yourself, it's harder. It's a harder thing to judge. You know, will the jury more likely vote for Jack or Lindsay? I don't know. It's a tough choice we have to make at the final 5 tribal. But I'd rather be the one making the choice than leaving my fate in the hands of others.
I talked to Ian, and he basically straight up told me that him, Grace, and Lindsay A are all on board to vote out Lindsay R this week.
But at the end of the day, those 2 are voting together. There's no question about that. You know, but it only takes 3 to do something. So, like, it's not inconceivable the 3 of us could do something, but, like...
I feel like even Grace would want Lindsay out.
Would she?
Honestly, isn't terrible for me because, like, she would get a ton of votes in the jury. Lindsay is so likable, has been, you know, pretty in the loop the whole time. If she wouldn't have flipped on George, I wouldn't have flipped on George. Like, I didn't want to be the one to rock that boat.
Even if I won the Final 4 challenge, like, the odds of getting to the end with Lindsay A and Grace are pretty small, you know? So, that's what my numbers tell me.
I feel like Grace is your main competition for a lot of, like, the votes.
How do you see that? How do you figure?
I don't want to vote out Lindsay. I already voted out Taylor and George.
We went on a whole tangent about how if anyone brings Lindsay to the end, then they're a coward, and the only reason they brought her is because they know that they can beat her and stuff.
Oh my god.
And I'm supposed to call him today at some point, but I don't know what we're gonna talk about because like I think like I sent him back in the board when we were playing. I think he knows I'm like rooting against him.
Realistically, reaching out to Lindsay A and trying to get her to flip on Grace and Ian just would not work. It wouldn't happen. I'm not close to Lindsay A at all. I think I had to trust Grace, I guess.
You guys voting Noah, like obviously that wasn't great for me, but like I see that as a huge game move and like I totally respect it. Yeah, like I just feel like it truly is best to just vote her out this week.
I mean, I'm totally fine with that since there's so few people left. It could be like literally anyone. I just don't want it to be me. So
Yeah.
Lindsay's great, yeah.
Have you guys talked to her at all?
No.
Okay. Yeah, she's usually like pretty silent. Like she'll text me like the day of tribal and be like, hey, can we talk? And then just be like, hey, what's everyone doing this week?
Not really looking forward to the 3-2 vote. Because that's probably what's gonna happen, and it's gonna suck. Lindsay R hasn't reached out to me this entire week. I've not heard a word. I didn't hear a word. I don't know if she's just really set, like, she's really convinced Grace is gonna vote me out.
They know she's a go, and even if they did get to Final 3, I would honestly find it kind of hard to pick who I would vote for. I think it would be best. Grace would have probably the best chance if she were to bring me and Ian.
I made a spreadsheet over like everyone left in the game, like who I could feasibly win against. But the jury, just think about who's on jury, and like these people are gonna vote with like their hearts, like they're gonna vote for the person who hasn't backstabbed them, or like I feel like I kind of am the swing vote this week. The way I see it, I can either risk losing their votes at the end and take out Lindsay and then Jack next, or I can go with Lindsay and Jack and vote out Lindsay A this week, and then one of them is guaranteed in the final 3. That's the game. Yeah, gonna eat my pizza now.
All right, come on in, guys. Osa Tribe, welcome to Final 5 Tribal Council. So we'll get right into it by talking about last week. Almost went to rocks, had to unanimously vote George off. Jack and Lindsay, it seemed like you two were the last ones that flipped on George. So what was the rationale behind that? And do you regret that going to this week for Jack and Lindsay on?
I mean, I will admit that I was planning on turning on George, but the week after that, just because he is a big threat. And it was hard to vote him out because he has been a really good ally to me. When it came down to it, I'd rather vote for someone that I probably would need to vote out anyway soon, as opposed to risking like myself when it was only 3 people going to rocks.
So Jack, what are the implications of George going home for this week? Who's in the minority right now?
Well, you know, if you're a person who's thinking it's Obsidian versus Sokka, then Lindsay and I would be in a pretty tough spot. But it's Final 5 with 5 people. You can't just stick to the tribes. Things change, and I don't know. I'm just nervous for this tribal. That's the implication. I'm very, very nervous.
Ian won yet another immunity challenge this last week, despite even being given a disadvantage. You think you're ever going to lose, or are you just going to carry it all the way to the end?
There's only one more challenge, so, we'll find out. I'd love to just carry it all the way to the end. But without knowing what any of the challenges are, it's pretty hard to be able to have any kind of real confidence about that. At this stage of the game, Brady, it's like, this week has kind of been weird, like weirder than most of the other weeks because there's so few people, there's so few places to go. You like all these people, like you've become friends with them to an extent, and like everybody at this point, you're like, all these people deserve to be here. They all are like fun to play Survivor with. And it's almost kind of a bummer that there's so few of us,
Oh, okay, so I know that my name has been thrown around, but I don't know. I just think that's silly because I don't consider myself that big of a threat. Like, I think that we all have an equal chance, and I think that not voting out someone that probably 80% of the jury considered like a goat would be kind of like silly, I guess. And like, it's like, no offense to Lindsay, it's hard to say this because I don't want to be mean.
Sure, most of the jury thinks I'm a goat, and if you wanted like consider that, yeah, like if you take me to the end, you probably would have a chance, and that's So I don't understand why you wouldn't go for the bigger target, I guess is where I'm at.
All right, cool. So with that, it is time to vote. Everyone, please mute yourselves and send your votes in your producer chat. I think everyone looks done. So with that, I will go tally the votes. All right. If anyone has a hidden immunity idol and like to play it, now would be the time to do so. All right, when I read the votes, the decision is final. Person being voted out will be asked to leave the Zoom chat immediately. I'll read the votes. First vote, Lindsay A. Second vote, Lindsay A. Third vote, Lindsay R. Fourth vote, Lindsay R. That's 2 votes Lindsay A, 2 votes Lindsay R, 1 vote left. 16th person voted out of Survivor Michigan Season 6, and the 9th member of our jury, Lindsay R. Please leave the group chat.
Alright. Hey, good luck.
Come on.
I'm sorry, Jack.
Dude, we just, I asked you. Like, you could have told me.
Dude, you lied to me the past 2 weeks. Like, I'm sorry.
All right, so with that, congratulations on all of you for making the Final Four. With the game closing out soon, I hope you all can finish off strong. I'll see you guys next week. Grab your stuff, heading out. Good night.
This game was really fun. Took a lot of time out of me, time and effort, like hours on end, just trying to build connections, and then hours on end of stressing out. I'm happy I did this when I took less credits. I went in very scared that I was gonna get voted out first. That didn't happen. I made it to Final 5. But yeah, I made some cool pals. I've loved and I've learned. I was not going to be able to beat Lindsay, I'm sorry.
That's just how it goes, you know? Like, Jack wasn't playing the game, therefore we can keep him around because he's less likely to win. You play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die, and when you play the game of Survivor, you win or you cry about how you deserved to win and got robbed by the game.
I'm someone who's a bit more empathetic. It's sort of one of the reasons why it's really easy for me to laugh along when something's funny, or even if I don't quite understand what's happening. So, everybody was really sad at Tribal, and I, on a very personal note, didn't get a chance to get to know Lindsay very well. We just didn't interact much in the game. It was just a really, everybody felt very gross about Tribal.
I mean, Jack, you seem to agree that Lindsay played a very good game, and I feel like she
did. No, she was a huge
really good at Survivor, and for that reason, she's out.
Well, Lindsay got voted out, so now I have no allies. Everything everyone said all week was true. She gets so much love on the jury, and of course, Grace wasn't just gonna vote out Lindsay A. She was gonna make a big move and vote out Lindsay R. It just made so much sense. It was obvious it was going to happen, but I just hoped and hoped. At every point in the game, I've been part of a duo, or I've felt like I've had one person I can really, really trust. Build them up, they get voted out. Strategy, it's worked, I guess. But now, if this Final Four tiebreaker thing's real, I think I have a good spot to be in the Final 3. But I'm kind of stuck. I just have to win immunity. But I've never won.
All right, everyone, welcome to the Final Four Individual Immunity Challenge. Ian, I'm gonna need immunity back. Thank you. Perfect.
Ready.
So, once again, individual immunity is back up for grabs. For today's challenge, we have prepared a 13 by 8 square board. Each one of you guys are gonna start in one corner of the board, and you're going to take turns moving like a knight moves in chess. Once a space on the board has been landed on, it cannot be landed on again. Once you are out of spaces to move, you are out of the challenge, The last person that can make a move will win individual immunity. Also, much like last challenge, there are torches on this board. Those can either be an advantage or a disadvantage. We're gonna draw for spots, then we're gonna get started. All right, so here's your guys' board. Randomly drew for spots. The order goes Lindsay, then Ian, Jack, then Grace. Lindsay, can you give me your first move?
B3.
Right, Lindsay goes to B3. Ian, you are up next.
C12.
Jack, you're up next.
I'll go to G11.
G11 for Jack, and great.
F2.
2. All right, round 1 is over. No one is out. Good job, guys. Lindsay, who moves next?
C5.
Ian, you're up next.
E11.
E11 for Ian. Jack, you're up.
F13.
F13 for Jack. Moving to the bottom of the board. Grace, your move.
H3.
Lindsay, what is your move? Round 3.
All right, I might regret this, but put me on that left torch.
All right. Lindsay taking a torch. Can we reveal what that torch says? You can clear any filled in spot. You must choose right now.
This would have been a lot useful later on in the game, but I guess I'll just go for B3 right now.
All right, taking away that B3 spot, replacing it into an uncleared spot. All right, Ian, your move.
F9.
Blocking off Jack a little bit. Jack, your move.
D12.
D12 for Jack and Grace.
G5.
Lindsay, back up to you.
B6.
Good old B6 for Lindsay. All right, Ian, you're up.
I'll take the other torch.
Same thing as the other torch. You can take off any cleared spot. Which one are you gonna do?
Whatever, the one I just came from. What is that? F9.
All right, Jack, you're up.
E10.
Grace, your move.
H7.
H7 for Grace. All right, that is the end of round 4. That is the end of round 10, officially in double digits. All right, Lindsay, back to you. Got 10 seconds.
C8.
Ian, you're up.
I think E12.
All right, Ian goes to E12, and Jack.
B10.
Jack goes to B10, and Grace still in her corner. Where you go?
F4.
End of round 11.
Yeah.
And 10 seconds.
I'm toast. G8.
All right, G8 for Ian. And next up is Jack.
F8.
F8 goes Jack.
Oh, shit. See if you can do that.
And Lindsay are all touching. Grace still has a little corner. Grace, where you go?
E1.
Lindsay, we gotta get out of here. We gotta go.
Yep.
We gotta spread out.
Let's see, A3, B4. And
Just run away, Grace. That's the best strategy. Escape while you still can.
G13.
All right, Jack goes G13, making a Grace-like take of territory in the bottom right-hand side of the board. Lindsay, start round 21. This board is closing very, very quickly.
Okay, how many more moves do you guys have?
C10.
All right, Lindsay goes to C10.
I'm going to F3.
All right, and Ian looks like he's forced to go to F3.
G9.
C13.
Lindsay, start off round 22.
I mean, it's either go here or get stranded, so A11.
I believe, is Ian out of moves?
No. I can still go to H4.
You can still go to H4. That is correct. Jack, you're up next.
Yeah, I don't know if I can go anywhere.
All right, Jack cannot go anywhere. Jack is officially out of this challenge. B11 goes Grace.
I mean, I've got one move. B13.
B13 goes Lindsay. Let's see where Ian is.
I got nothing.
And Ian is trapped. Ian will be the second one out of this challenge. And I believe, where's Grace?
I'm out.
And Grace does not have anywhere to go as well. She is out of this challenge, meaning that Lindsay wins final 4 individual immunity.
Good job, Lindsay.
You want me to? I can mail you this necklace, Lindsay.
Yeah, just send it. We'll just get it when it comes in like 2 weeks.
So, Lindsay, congratulations on individual immunity. This was, in fact, the final individual immunity challenge of the season. We're going to the modern rules of Survivor, where Lindsay will get to pick one person that she guarantees to take to the final 3 with her, while the other 2 people will be doing a tiebreaker challenge in front of the jury to claim that last spot at Final Tribal Council. That's all I have for you guys today. So grab your stuff, head on out. Good night.
Hello! I didn't think I'd make it this far. I'm usually flying by the seat of my pants with everything I do in life, but I feel especially much so like I am right now. Like, I did have a hand in the moves that happened, and I think just writing me off as a number is kinda silly. Plans have gone horribly wrong, but I'm still here, baby. 15 votes later.
Girl, I am so proud of you. You killed that.
I'm really excited.
I am so happy. When I signed up for this, when I found out I was getting on this, when I found the idol clue on day 1 and convinced myself everyone saw it, when Sokka had to go to every single tribal council, who would have thought? I feel like we have the best shot if it is me and Ian, and I feel like Ian will just whip Jack's ass at whatever this is, where like me, I don't think I'd be that confident. Ian said that he kind of like, first of all, he was like heavily implying that he could beat Jack over me, and or like he could beat Jack, but I probably couldn't, and I'm like, well, you're kind of right there. Like,
also, I wish they weren't going to tell us what the challenge was ahead of time, because that gives Jack time to practice.
Oh, I know. It's probably just going to be something with, like, stacking the cups.
But he did say, he was like, well, I don't, like, there's no convincing Lindsay, like, she's taking you, but I'm just gonna, like, try to convince her for the for like the camera aspect, but I also know Ian, and I feel like he's not just gonna give up that easily. Like, I think he's gonna at least try. Lindsay is not taking Jack, hopefully, so. Okay, I have a lot of adrenaline right now. This was a crazy night.
Kidding me? What is this nonsense? I'm gonna sit here while we let Night Jump decide who wins a game of Survivor?
Something based almost purely in luck rather than a skill, you know. I'm not out of it yet. I went to Matthew Israel's house and picked up my Dixie cups for this final fire-making tiebreaker challenge. He says he's gonna tell us the challenge ahead of time because in real Survivor they know it's fire-making and we can practice. I just don't want to go out because of this challenge. I just don't want it to end like this, you know? It won't have ended because somebody beat me or because somebody like was better than me at the game or because I got voted out or played incorrectly. It will have been because I couldn't win some random challenge.
I've only done it all in completion 4 times, like once, but I've been just like stack, like just over and over doing the big one.
I feel like I realized that I'm not even sure practicing even is I don't know if it's a thing you can really get better at necessarily.
I just have to win. I've gotten second twice. Like, I'm not terrible at challenges. Like, it's been pretty obvious the way we've all been lying to each other the past few weeks that there's no way for us to work together. So, you know, I guess it's good at least I'm at the end with them because they would never vote for me anyway.
It seems to me that like at some point, like Obsidian had such huge numbers going into the merge. I just don't understand how the first 4 people who went were all Obsidian. It doesn't really make sense.
I don't know, it's a controlled burn. At this point in the game, Survivor just feels like way different. It's way more isolating. There are only 4 people left, so I can't go, you know, talk to all my friends and ask them their ideas and what they're hoping for this week. I don't know, it's just weird that everything's coming to an end. Like, it's almost been 100 days, but either way, after tonight, we'll be closer to the end.
All right, come on in, guys. Welcome, Mimosa Tribe, to the Final 4 Tribal Council. So, first things first, Jack, would you like to explain what's going on with this Tribal Council and how it's different for the jury?
Yeah, so at the last challenge, Lindsay won immunity, and she has this special little advantage, I guess, where she can pick someone to go with her to the final 3. And then the 2 remaining people have to do a challenge with these cups. And the loser is automatically on the jury. So it's kind of high stakes tonight.
So, Lindsay, how has your week been? Has it just been a lot of people coming up to you trying to state their case on who you should bring?
I mean, there's definitely been people coming and making their cases, and they've made very good cases, and it's been good to talk with everybody again.
I have a case, Brady, that has not been made yet. So I have a question. I think can we all agree that all of us here we're all playing this game to win the game? Is that a fair assumption? Okay, so here's my proposition to you, Lindsay. I think that, you know, when we were at the Superlatives Challenge, you know, you got voted, you know, like the biggest GOAT, things like this, you know. I feel like potentially you still have it in you to make another resume building move, and perhaps the biggest move of the entire game. I think that if you give your immunity necklace to someone else, enter the ring yourself, and take out whoever you believe to be your biggest challenger, and then when you win, you'll have the best case of anyone in this game.
So I'm actually just gonna throw this out there. Jack said the same thing to me, so I'm repeating my words. I don't think I'd be that good at this challenge. Y'all saw me when we were doing the cup stacking challenge. I don't know. I feel as if I've earned my way into the finals because nobody's picking me. I got my immunity, so I'm sorry, Ian. I'm keeping it, man.
So Grace, is that what's going on? Everyone thinks that Jack's gonna win, Jack needs to go out, or are there other opinions going around right now?
How the jury is falling right now is that it's very Obsidian heavy, and you know, it's hard because a lot of them I haven't been able to talk to in weeks and weeks. So it's like, I don't really know where their head's at. I don't know if they're just going to vote for the person that, you know, they randomly got selected to be on the tribe on day one, or if they're going to vote for whoever played the best game. So it's kind of a toss-up at this point.
Lindsay, what are you basing who you're going to take to the end with you on this week?
Loyalty is certainly a factor here because, I mean, there is somebody here who I've worked with since week 2, and it's been straight nothing but.
I think a few weeks ago, you guys all made this assumption that because, like Grace said, I was randomly put on Obsidian, that I'm automatically going to get all these votes. But like, that's not at all how I see it. I think Grace is a way bigger threat. Ian's obviously a huge threat. And I think they've just convinced you that I'm a threat instead of them, and now you're going to take Grace to the end. I don't know. Grace has relationships with people that are on Obsidian. People love Grace. I like Grace. She's super nice, and she's played a great game, has received 0 votes.
All I'm saying is I know Lindsay cares about loyalty more than anything. I let my idol be played for Lindsay on a week when I was the other name being thrown around. I was literally willing to go to rocks for Lindsay, like.
But was it about Lindsay?
I don't think either of I are gonna sit here and really accept this notion that like both of those moves, which were just cited, were not moves made like to save. Like no offense, Lindsay. Like it's not like nothing any against you, but the plan was Grace would have played that idol on whoever the votes were going towards, and it just happened that George and Taylor told us that you were the person they were voting for.
You know, like that was what made it do or die. I understand that I was going to go to rocks for Grace to save George. This was not like, it's not like, that's not all there is to it, I believe.
Yep. All right. So with that, Lindsay, who are you taking to the end, and what 2 people are going to compete in this cup challenge for their own chance in the spot in the finals?
Sorry, folks. I'm predictable. I'm the most predictable bitch here. Grace. I'm taking Grace, which.
Oh my god. Thank you, Lindsay.
All right.
Ian, Jack, good luck, guys. I believe in you.
So now, Ian and Jack, we're going to ask that you guys set up a clear spot where we can watch you do this entire cup challenge. They must start with a stack of these 3-ounce Dixie cups. They must make a stack that's 3 cups tall, 4 cups tall, then 5 cups tall. So with basically goes 3, 2, 1, then 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep taking it apart and putting in a stack between each round. They know it's up. They've been practicing for a day or so now. All right. Jack, are you ready?
Yep.
Ian, are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Survivors ready? Go.
Ready.
Ian's good. Jack's good. Both are on to 4 now. Ian getting out a little bit faster than Jack.
Ready.
And Ian's stack is good. You may take it down. Jack has dropped a cup. Jack dropped another cup.
Ah!
Jack, you're good. All right, Jack just finished his layer of 4. Ian's onto his layer of 5. Almost. Ian's good. Take it down. All right, Ian, the stick. Jack's just starting 5. This is not looking close right now. Ian already on that layer of 7. Jack, you're all good. Take it down.
On 6, Brady.
Yeah, you're on 6. That's my bad. Ian is done with 6. All right, Ian is on to 7. While Jack is just starting 6. Ian has that form, taking all the cups down very cleanly. And Jack just nice and neatly stacking cups one by one, still on that 6th layer. Jack, you're all good. Take it down. Jack finishes his layer 6. Ian almost done with 7 already. Ian's good. All right, Ian is done with 7. Look at that clean takedown from Ian. Has been obviously watching those cup stacking videos on YouTube. Ian is almost a full stack ahead of Jack. Jack's still on that layer of 7. Ian on that layer of 8. Jack drops that top cup. Got to move the cups closer. Jack, you're good. Take it down. Jack's done with 7. Jack's clean easy. Ian's done. All right, Ian on to 9. Last stack for Ian. Has to get a base layer of 9, and Ian will ensure his spot in the final. All right, Jack's on the 3rd layer of his 8th stack. Ian is on the 3rd layer of his 9th and final stack. Ian drops a cup, though, maybe leaving a spot. Jack also drops a cup, putting him back even, but Ian still taking this challenge away. Ian's only got 3 stacks left, and Jack still just dropping cups.
I'll see you in the final, boys.
And Ian has won the challenge, ensured his spot at Final Tribal Council. That means that, Jack, you are the 17th person voted out of this game and the 10th and final member of our jury.
Jack. Oh, fuck. Jack. Handshake.
It was an honor, Ian. Well fought.
Nice and cordial, but Jack, can you please leave the Zoom chat now, or he says you are officially out of this game.
Good luck, you guys.
Hi, Jack. I'm sorry.
See ya, dude. Sorry.
All right, so with that, congratulations, you 3. Lindsay, Grace, Ian, you have ensured yourselves a spot at Final Tribal Council where you will be able to sit there and state before the jury, where we can figure out a winner of this game. So prepare your pitch, prepare your speeches. We'll text you guys the details. And yeah, see you guys then. Grab your stuff. Come out. Good night.
Good pick, Lindsay, to go up against Jack. Good pick.
Oh my god. I feel so bad for Jack, though.
They should have gone to Rocks for George.
Yeah.
Guys, I can't believe we fucking pulled this shit off.
Like, this isn't happening. It feels like I should be going to tribal right now at final 6 and probably be voted out. Like, we pulled this off. It's been very strange. Like, this game has been like my entire life for how long now? January, February, March, I can't even count months. I'm nervous, for one. I am absolutely terrified. I have been preparing a lot. Like, I got done with all my classes, which I'm literally done with college. Like, how weird is that? Agreeing to do this is something I never thought I would have the confidence to do, and I never ever thought I'd be sitting in the final 3 with like an actual chance to win.
The one question I am kind of dreading is like, what was your big game move? Because I played a pretty consistent but relatively low-key game this whole time. I do think my biggest accomplishment in this game was throwing together this alliance, because I really think I spearheaded that at least a little bit. But I really do genuinely think, because I set the foundation early, it's what carried me through the game. I said this at the beginning, my plan was to get alliances, well, get an alliance, as it turned out, and stick with it. And it works. The end of senior year was a clusterfuck, but the end of freshman year probably was even more of a clusterfuck. It still is a clusterfuck. I have finals this week. Oh god.
Well, here we sit, hours before the final showdown, the final tribal council. It's been a long road. Found an idol, played it, found an idol clue. I've been on 3 different tribes and one individual immunity 3 times. The question will be, of course, will the jury reward that? You know, will they reward the fact that I played the best game, but, you know, was perhaps a little bit rough around the edges than some of the other people? See how it shakes out. You know, hope for the best, expect the worst. Some drink champagne, some die of thirst. No way of knowing which way it's going. Hope for the best. Expect the worst.
All right. So, final three, you guys know how this is going to go. So you guys will have 3 minutes each to make an opening statement. Then each jury member will get 6 minutes to talk with you, ask any questions. So the random order that we drew for you guys for opening statements was Ian, Grace, then Lindsay. Closing statements will be Lindsay, Ian, and Grace. Ian, you're on the clock. You got 3 minutes.
Okay, I just want to start by saying that, like, it was so awesome playing this game with all of you guys. You know, playing Survivor is something I really wanted to do for a few years now, and especially for like second semester seniors, it's so hard to like meet new people on campus and make new friends and stuff. And I just feel like through this game, like I really enjoyed getting to know all of you guys, and I feel like I honestly made some pretty good friends like doing this, including like the 2 other people who are up here with me. In terms of like, you know, the final tribal and the game and all of that, I really do feel that I played the best strategic game of the 3 of us up here. I was never on the wrong side of the vote. You know, in the pre-merge, basically, I was in this power alliance with Grace, Lindsay, Adams, and Noah, and we, you know, orchestrated the Abby vote. And then when I got swapped into a minority tribe, I made sure I threw a challenge to make sure I got to go to tribal with Sokka and make sure an Obsidian person went home. You know, and then during the merge itself, you know, there was a lot of chaos going on. There was kind of 2 sort of sides of people. And I feel like I was one of the only people who was really trying to work with every person in the game at one point or another. You know? And then basically around the time of Final 7, you know, when Lindsay came to me, it was my idea basically to push Noah being the vote that week. Jack and Lindsay kind of wanted to go with Grace or Lindsay Adams as a safer vote. And I said it needs to be Noah now. That was basically my idea. I decided I wanted to go to the end with Grace and Lindsay Adams. And, you know, I realized that once it was a final 3, that George was the biggest threat by far to win. George was the biggest challenge threat. He would have done really well in the trivia challenge at 5, and he had an advantage. So George had to go at 6 because we wouldn't get another chance to vote George out, basically. Allies basically like ended up flipping on him. And then after that, I won immunity at 5, so I couldn't be voted out then. And I won the fire making challenge at final 4. I won more immunities than anybody else in the game. I was in the minority on both of the swap tribes I was on, which was not the case for a lot of other people, you know. You know, at the end of the day, like, I think Grace and Lindsay Adams also played great games, for the record. But they were in the majority a lot of the time and didn't have to do nearly as much to survive, you know? Whereas I had to connive, I had to scheme, I had to talk to people and make deals and figure out a way to survive. I earned my way here. I played my idol correctly, wiping out most of the other idols and advantages in the game at that point. I feel like I played the best strategic game.
All right, Ian, thank you. Grace, you're up next.
Okay, first I just wanted to say thank you to all of the producers for making this season possible despite everything that's happening. This truly was one of the best experiences of my entire college career, and I can't say thank you enough. Ian, Lindsay, I love you guys so much. I can't believe we all made it here. This is the biggest boomerang moment of all, and whoever wins today, it's going to be well deserved. To the jury, I only have 3 minutes, which isn't nearly enough time to say everything I need to say, but I think there were a lot of misconceptions about me and the way that I played this game. I came into this game not having much of a strategy. I said I needed to see who I was playing with first and go from there. And there was a pivotal moment when that happened. It was the first challenge when Jay was really fumbling with the lock. I said a good 5 times, I was like, guys, what if we check the other tribe's lock and tried that combination? Not a single person listened to me. But the second Luke stepped up and said the exact same thing, everyone listened to him and everyone praised him. And from that moment on, I knew exactly how I was going to be perceived and how I needed to play this game. So that same day, day 1, I made an alliance of 5 with the 4 strongest, biggest guys on my tribe, using an idol clue that I found on day 1. That gave me the opportunity to get very close to one specific person, and that was Noah. I made a final 2 with Noah on day 1, and from that moment on, probably besides Katie and George, I promise you, we were the 2 closest people in this game. We told each other everything. We talked about this game for hours a day. But Noah was far from my only ally. I was on good terms with just about everyone this entire game. Based on the superlatives I got, I think it's safe to say that my social game was completely unmatched, even though I believe I should have been a huge threat. By merge, it was very common knowledge that me, Ian, and Noah, and Lindsay A were all super close. But because my social game was so good, I managed to always make sure that I was never the threat, even though
I think some of the moves they made could not have been pulled off without me. Also, because of my social game, I knew where just about every single idol in advantage was at all times, as well as what the difference maker power was every single week. I was always thinking long term. I had my group of allies I was loyal to a fault, and I knew I needed them to make it to the end. So I was thinking weeks into the future, how can I get all of us there? Where I think a lot of other people were thinking, how can I get just myself into the next week? And I may not have been a challenge piece, but I went to damn near every single tribal council in this game without immunity once, and I never received one single vote. Thank you for this game, and I'm done. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Grace. And last but not least, Lindsay, your turn.
Those are two very good speeches I have to follow up on. Wow. Yeah, just as Ian and Grace have said, this was an awesome experience. Like, I can't imagine this has been a very crazy end of freshman year. Getting the chance to get to know you guys. You guys have been some of the coolest people to get to know, to work with, to meet, and I'm so thankful I got to do this. Yeah, thank you to the producers as well for keeping this going. It's been what's getting me through the coronavirus. So I knew coming into this, I was kind of seen as the GOAT a few weeks ago. I know superlatives, and I want to just say that I don't think it's necessarily fair to say that I was the GOAT just because I didn't play as flashy of a game as someone like Ian. There were a lot of misconceptions. Going into this game, I knew I'm friend-shaped, I'm squish. I'm gonna not do great at the challenges. I'm gonna have to get into the alliance. And week 2, I got that difference maker. I talked with Ian, I talked with Noah, I talked with Grace. We brought Thejus in, and we had that power 5 that I feel like I initiated. And look at that, the final 3 is that power 5 that we started. It's what got me through when I had 7 votes on me and I should have gone home. There's been more than one week that if it hadn't been for that alliance that we built and that trust that we had, I would have gone home. I won my way into this. I won that challenge at the final 4. I may not have won a lot of challenges, but I feel like I won when it really mattered. And I won that advantage. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool that I'm the person here. Like, I've had I think 15 votes on me and I'm still kicking, baby. So, yeah, I think that's about all I've got. Thank you guys so much for being so cool. I'm so happy I got to meet you guys, and no matter who wins today, they deserve it. So, don't count me out yet.
All right, thank you, Lindsay. Those are great speeches, everyone. So now we're gonna get to members of our jury. So, first things first, we're gonna bring in T-Rex, who's the first member of our jury.
My first question goes to Ian. Ian, I want to ask you, how would you describe your adventure in one word?
Epic.
What do you think is the best type of cheese?
I believe that Swiss. Swiss is the best kind of cheese, without question.
So you talked a lot about your strategy during the game, but what do you think are the qualifications of the survivor? You think the survivor should just play strategy all game long and not create good relations and have all the jury have some tension or beef with them?
I mean, I think that it's obviously a combination of factors. You have the whole outwit, outplay, outlast. The whole game is voting people out, but having them still like you enough to vote for you at the end. And I do think that perhaps I could have played a slightly better social game at times. There was a negative perception of me throughout a small portion of the game. Everything I did in the game was a game thing. I really liked everybody as people. I enjoyed bantering with a lot of you guys and had a great time. And at the end of the day, I was on the outs for a lot of the post-merge, and there wasn't much I could do besides, the individual relationships that I had with people. And those relationships did keep me going. My relationship with George kept me safe when I was on the minority tribe of Obsidian. My relationship with, Katie would have kept me safe potentially when I was on Kopaka. My relationships with Grayson and Lindsay Adams and Noah, all at different times, were all things that I think, helped me out a lot during the course of the game.
Grace, why should I vote for Ian to win?
I don't think you should vote for Ian. I think Ian did play a good game, there's no denying it, but Ian did not have a good social game. Ian was very straight up mean to a lot of people, and while he did make big moves, I think a lot of the moves that he's claiming he made after Final 7 were not fully his. After that vote, I was literally a dead man walking. My closest ally was just blindsided. I had no one but Lindsay left. I was able to convince Ian to trust me again and convince George's 2 remaining allies to flip on him. I think that was a huge move on my part.
You guys all watched the George tribal, and George called that out exactly as it was. George said this is only happening because Ian wants it to happen. And George was 100% accurate when he said that. If I hadn't won immunity, I would never have been willing to go to Rocks that week. So I don't think that's fair. And I don't think this was mean to people is necessarily accurate either, you know? Like, I think it's a perception people have put out there because it was beneficial to them.
Lindsay, what's your biggest regret in your adventure?
My biggest regret. I think that a lot of the time, especially towards the beginning of the game, I sort of had in my head that I was like, okay, I'm going to wait a little bit before I start contacting people after challenges so it's not like the survivor overload. And I will say, I think that there was at least one specific time I can think of where that sort of made it look like I wasn't making moves when I really was. That Katie vote. Well, I didn't have that dirt that Ian and Noah did. I was just as much about to initiate it as they were.
In one sentence, why should I vote for you?
Because I came into this game to play it as honestly and as true to me as I could. I think I did that.
Do you think that cereal is a soup or not?
Very technically, yes, but I would never call it that because milk ain't a broth.
There's 30 seconds left.
Okay, I'm done with my questions.
All right, T-Rex, thank you. Next up is Thagus. Your 6 minutes start now.
How are we doing, guys? Long time no see. Ian, first question to you, big man. What role do you believe trust and loyalty should play in the game of Survivor? And what role did they play in the game for you?
I think trust and loyalty obviously it's a huge part of the game. It basically is who you're playing with and who you're not playing with, you know? Like, the whole reason why Abby and Stephanie got voted out basically so early was because people just didn't really trust them. And I think trust and loyalty is a huge aspect of the game. I think it's a really important part of it. And none of you guys might all disagree with this. I honestly think I played a pretty loyal game. The only person I believe I really backstabbed was George, honestly. George was the person who I was working with for most of the post-merge, and it was really kind of a betrayal when I backstabbed him. And so I think loyalty is really important to the game. It shows you who you can trust and who you can't. But also, you know, at the end of the day, if they're gonna turn on you, you gotta do something that you do have to vote people out.
Grace, talked a lot today about kind of how you were a really influential player. I'm wondering a little bit about maybe what you thought some of your weaknesses in the game were.
Well, obviously challenges for one. I was never great at challenges. But, you know, Ian talked a lot about the vote where we tried to blindside him. At that point, it was very clear to me that Ian was not truly with us. Ian was playing an individual game, which, you know, is kind of the point of the game. But in my opinion, it was too early to do that. Everyone was coming to me for weeks saying, Ian's trying to throw you under the bus. Ian's telling people about your idol. And I believed it. And I knew if Ian or Noah didn't go that week, one of them was going to win the game. And obviously I wanted Noah there. But that's not what happened, and it was the only regret I have for a while. But at this point, I don't regret anything because I don't think I would be here if everything didn't go the way it happened. I would say I wish I tried to make myself more of a threat because I think a lot of people are sitting there thinking I truly didn't do anything when that's just not the case at all. But I knew if I made myself a huge threat, like the girls in this game that made themselves a huge threat early on, Stephanie and Abby, they were gone in a second, and I knew I couldn't do that, so I hid behind the bigger guys, and it got me here.
Congrats on making it to the end, guys. Made it further than the rest of us, so some of you guys definitely deserve it. A lot of my questions have already been taken, unfortunately, but my first question is for Lindsay. You're a Flash Queen goddess, you are a great person, but I will not be voting for you tonight. However, I do need your help. Who do you think deserves $1 million, Grace or Ian?
$1 million. Okay, well, you're just kind of, we're just like, I'm not voting for you, so who should I vote for? And I don't really, that's kind of a weird question to ask, I guess.
If you can't choose yourself, who do you vote for?
Grace got through without a single vote, and I think that's hella baller. So I would say Grace. That's my answer to you, but I'd rather you vote for me, Justin.
I'll think about it. All right, so my next question is for Ian. I don't think anybody really trusted you at all from our perspective. And I know that you're mentioning that you were trusted. People, you know, would tell you where to vote last minute, or talk a little bit more about why you think you played a good social game.
I played a really good social game in the pre-merge, for sure, 100%. In the pre-merge, people did trust me. I played a great social game, to the point actually that when Katie got voted out, I had created a situation where whether she got voted out or it went to Rox and me and Katie both were safe, that I would be in a good position either way. And after that vote, we literally had to vote on our tribe over who was trusted the most. And I was like second or third. I was not the most least trusted person on that tribe. And they still like, kind of trusted me after that. George trusted me a lot, and I voted out his girlfriend basically. I had Grace and Lindsay Adams both wanted to work with me, and George and Jack wanted to work with me, you know? Like Justin, you might not even believe this, but I proposed to George an alliance of me, you, Emily, Ellie, and George. And George was like, multiple times, he was like, bro, no one's ever gonna go for that. None of those people trust each other. I was like, all of us are on the bottom. That's maybe what I think might be smart, you know?
Do you think you would have been in danger all those weeks if you didn't win immunity though? Seriously.
I seriously think that at Final 5, I would have maybe been voted out if not for immunity.
Real quick for Grace, do you think the idol that I gave you was real? Or the clue that I gave you?
For like half a second I thought it might be, but it just looked too different from the others. It was written very well though and very well made, so.
Well, thank you. All right, I'm done with my question.
Thank you for your time. Justin, next up is Emily. Your 6 minutes start now.
Hi friends, good to see everyone again. Grace, so like I was kind of glad you acknowledged that people might not have noticed some of your moves or people might not have acknowledged you as a threat to the game. Do you think that like was beneficial to you to kind of not be seen? Like, because I know when I was still in the game, I like something would happen and then like a couple days later it'd be like, oh, Grace was part of that, and I was like, oh, didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked a little bit about this already, but you know, it was really hard to find the balance between wanting to be a threat. So when I got to this point, I would have a resume and people would want to vote for me, and also not being big enough of a threat or too big of a threat that people would want to vote me out while I was like still in the game. Another thing was that Ian and Noah obviously were producers. They were very involved with Survivor Michigan, where I had not been. It was tough because it was difficult when I had Obsidian people coming to me constantly, like right away, and saying, everyone just sees Sokka as like the guys running everything. They think you guys aren't doing anything. And it was really tough to just sit there and be like, yep, that's exactly what's happening, when like it wasn't the case at all.
I mean, I think that like people wanted to vote Grace out both at Final 7 and Final 6.
You have to wait your turn, Ian.
Sorry, Ellie.
It's okay. It's actually your turn now though. So awesome. Okay, who really screwed you over in the game? Like, who do you think like kind of really impacted your strategy moving forward after they like did you really dirty?
I think Noah screwed me over in the game, honestly. Like, I was really, really quite loyal to Sokka, and my plan was to stick with them. Like, I was planning to go. So I thought when we got to Final 4, we had 7 and there was 4 Sokka people left. At that point, I was like, we're gonna go Sokka to the, like, I was 100% solid with that.
Good luck.
Perfect. Thanks for your time, Emily. Next up is Ellie. Your 6 minutes start right now.
All right. Hey, guys. So my first question is for Lindsay. Throughout this game, how frequently did you feel like you were left out of the loop or isolated from those that you aligned with?
I don't feel like it happened super often. There was the idol thing. I will say I did not know where the idols were until Jack had told me. But at the same time, Jack did fill me in. I did get there. So I don't feel like I was particularly left out of a loop super often. I definitely always played up how much I was left out of the loop so I didn't look like a threat.
Ian, so you always called me stupid. Did you call everyone this? Or do you just have like such a small vocabulary that you don't have any other insults? What do you have?
Okay. I called probably every single person in the game stupid, a moron, an idiot, a large number of things. A doofus, a clown. I like to use clown a lot. Buffoon, you know, like any manner. It was not just limited to the word stupid, for the record. I, again, feel badly if people took it to mean that. I tried to always make it seem like I was, you know, talking about it in a game-wise sense, that was a stupid move, you know, and stuff. And I don't ever mean it like personally, and I profusely apologize to anyone who believed it was.
So Grace, I think that you have played an awesome game, and I'm really glad that at the beginning you explained your strategy, because you saying something and then Luke saying the same thing like brings up sort of the sexism present in Survivor. Based on the way that you've played your game, which superhero or villain do you identify with?
I've always really liked Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like the obvious answer is Wonder Woman.
Yes, fabulous. Okay. So a large portion of your game was sort of dictated by your relationship with Noah, and I know that you had like a final 2 pact. How do you think that you would have played differently if he had not been in the picture?
I think I would have played much the same. I did say from the very beginning that I wanted one solid person that I could 100% trust, and Noah said the same thing. So it worked out that like we happened to have each other. I did want that person, so I think I probably just would have tried to find that with someone else, but I do still to this day think Noah was the best person to do that with, because we were always on the same page. We felt the same way about the game, and that it was very luck that it happened because we happened to be walking home the same way. But if I wouldn't have formed the Alliance of Five because of the idol clue I found, then I wouldn't have been walking back that way. So I think a lot of that was like my doing.
Thank you, Ellie. Next up, we have Taylor. 6 minutes starts now.
Hey, everybody. Congrats on making this final 3. Very exciting. My first question is for Ian. I want you to list one thing that each jury member did better than you.
You had a much better social game than me without question. I think you had the best social game by far. Everyone trusted you. You talked to me for like a day and I suddenly thought we were like insanely close ally. Like you were so good at the social game. What else? Okay, so Grace also played obviously a much better social game than me. Lindsay Adams was way better than me at flash games. You know, George was better than me at challenges. T-Rex was better than me at biking. I saw him biking around quite a bit. Don't know much about T-Rex besides that, but I can speak to that.
Okay, my next question is for Grace. Hi, Grace. We all know here Survivor can be very hard sometimes. A lot of us have spilled blood, sweat, and tears over this game. So I want to know what you thought the hardest part of playing Survivor was and what you did to compensate with those hardships.
I think definitely the hardest part was when it got down to final 7 and I had to like actually vote out people that I was very close with. The whole Ian week, like he's not gonna believe me, I know he's not, but he keeps bringing up the 3 hours we talked on the phone the night before that. That was so hard for me. I literally like cried so many times that week because I was like, I need to blindside this guy that I actually now consider a friend. And you know, with Noah going, that was obviously very hard too. And then Lindsay and Jack and George, literally everyone after that was so hard. And I needed to vote out people I actually considered friends and able to make it to the end. And it never got easier.
And then my last question is for Lindsay. When playing the game, did you ever recognize an opportunity to make a big move?
I mean, I think there were definitely times where there was that option to maybe make a big move. And it always felt like to me, like I didn't want to end up in a situation where because I jumped on this big move super early, I am without a support system, if that makes sense.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks, Taylor. Next up is Noah. Your 6 minutes start right now.
Hi, guys. Congrats on all being here and unequivocally proving which tribe ended up being the best tribe. Lindsay, I'd like to start with you. I'd like to give you an opportunity to kind of speak to maybe more your long-term strategy.
Really solid question. So I will say, especially post-merge, I had been pushing for a George vote pretty much as soon as merge happened. So basically from that point onward, I was pushing for a George vote. And that wasn't a week-to-week thing. That was every single week. I was like, if George wasn't immune, I was like, we gotta get him out. Like, he's gotta go. Well, I will acknowledge that move at the final 6 could not have happened if Ian hadn't been on board. It was in his best interest to do so. And that was just as much of a move at his move as it was me and Grace's. If one of us had jumped off that ship, it wouldn't have happened. And that was, I believe, a result of me, at least in part, pushing that vote for weeks on end.
Ian, start real quick. What's my last name?
Simon.
There you go.
And I was telling the truth, but I forgot it that one time.
Do you think you are the Russell of this season?
I'm not the Russell Hands for a few reasons. Number one, I played with way smarter people than Russell Hands. And I know like you guys are saying I've called you all idiots, but Russell is an idiot who played with idiots. Like that's how I see Russell, really. Like Russell, I don't think is good at Survivor. He makes a lot of really bad moves, gets really lucky that everyone around him is dumb to a degree that really can't be described in words, you know? You guys are not like that. Like you guys are all really good at Survivor for the most part. And I think I played a better strategic game than Russell, and I think I played a better social game than Russell too.
Finally, Grace, like you said, we've been working as closely as pretty much any two people can in this game. You knew about my idol before anyone else, you knew about the legacy advantage before anyone else. So I want to give you this opportunity to speak to something you did that you felt was completely separate from me or I might not know about.
Like I said, after you were voted out, I was completely alone. I had to really work to make sure
I said I wanted George to go that week. While you were still in the game, you know, it was tough because we were on the same tribes every single week. But something a lot of people don't know, you told me about George and Katie before anyone else. I was the first non-producer to know about them. And from that moment on, like, I feel like the vote was still kind of up in the air. Like Ian was saying he really wanted Lindsay to go. Like, there was absolutely no doubt in my mind that it had to be Katie. And yeah, I do think a lot of that vote I didn't get enough credit for, and yeah.
Thank you all. Thanks for showing that Boomerang does indeed come back.
Thank you, Noah. Next up is George. You got 6 minutes.
Congratulations. This is super, super weird coming like years later and now being like here, let alone in a Zoom chat, but like on the other end of things. Like, really glad you guys are here because this is like an amazing cast and you guys are definitely a big part of it. Everyone is, but you guys have done a phenomenal job. Grace, during the Superlatives Challenge, every person put Noah as the person who was the biggest threat to win, except for my vote, which went to you. But what is your claim to fame in terms of a player?
It's been very obvious that this big alliance I'm talking about that I've been very loyal to since the beginning was Sokka people. But I vividly remember the first week of the swap sitting down with Mason and saying, I don't want this to be Sokka versus Obsidian. Like, I don't want to play that way. I want to get to know people on the other tribe. And I do feel like I did that because at the end of the day, I was most loyal to Sokka because they had been the most loyal to me. But I was working with others. You know, we worked together for a while. I got very close with Justin on New Sokka. Me and Lindsay R after merge got very close. Like, I think that's something that made me stand out was that I was able to still like fly under the radar like this while talking to literally everybody.
First of all, Ian, seriously love you. You're hilarious. I did quickly want to call you synonyms of clowns because no one has ever gotten the chance to do so. So really quick, you are a jokester, a madcap, a merrymaker, a mountebank, a mummer, and a picador. I just wanted to really...
Awesome.
So here's my question. Why did you have a better perception than I think you did?
People, I think, respected, like, you know, the moves I was making. I think that people did honestly like me more than they're, you know, than they've been. It's become a kind of a dog pile thing. It's easy, you know, to say it. Everyone doesn't like me, all that stuff. The perception I had never really put me in enough danger for me to, I didn't walk into a single trial without what was going on.
Thank you, George. All right, second to last, Lindsay R, you're up.
Literally, I hate talking. So Lindsay A, the week that I went home when I called you out for being a goat, you owned up to that and you like said it really proudly. But here you are now like saying that you played the same game as Grace. Tell me why you did that at that tribal.
Okay, so here's the thing, is that when you're up and you're like about to, like, you're getting votes, you're trying to say, like, you don't want to paint yourself as this big target that when you make it to the final tribal, you're going to lose against. You want to make it seem like you're somebody who, if you make it to the final with, you have a chance to win against, because that's who people are going to take when you get that far into the game. They're going to pick people who they think they can win against.
That was a good answer. Grace, we had like a few like heart-to-hearts and stuff, and you commonly mentioned that you viewed the producers as threats, and you had told me multiple times that you would have flipped on Noah eventually. Like, if that is the case, when did you think that that was a good idea? And if you went to the end with him, why do you think you would have won over him?
Honestly, I didn't really see Noah making it to the end ever because he was such a big threat and he was such a good player. I don't think anyone would have beat him. I truly did want to take him to the end because I wanted to honor that, and because I thought there was a tiny chance that maybe if I got up here and it's like, oh, nobody knew me and Noah were that close and like all those moves were mine too, I thought there was a tiny chance. But I was serious about wanting to work with you, and I feel like we did get very close right away, and we did talk a lot about how we needed to stick together because the producers were big threats. But something I don't think people might realize is that it also did give them a leg up.
Ian, I honestly think you're one of the funniest people I've ever met, but you are pretty ruthless. Personally, for me, what held me back from ever working with you fully was the fact that you constantly were saying my name, and I know that it was like a running joke, like, oh my god, I can't trust you because like I heard you want to vote me out. Why do you think that that was the best strategy, having like a few, like multiple people on edge with you constantly? Or do you think that everyone just fully trusted you?
No, I think that it was the only strategy I had. You know, I think I was forced into a situation in the post-merge where my main alliance of Noah, Grace, and Lindsay Adams clearly no longer really trusted me. And there wasn't a whole lot I could do about that really, because I knew Noah was going to keep coming after me until he was out. So the only person I really fully trusted at that point was like George. And then honestly, like Emily and Ellie for a time. And Emily also like lied to me that one week. I didn't know who to trust, honestly. And yeah, I was just throwing tons of people's names out. And I threw your name out a lot because you were the person I felt least close with.
Good luck, everyone. Congrats.
All right, thank you, Lindsay. Last but not least, Jack, you're up. Your 6 minutes start now.
All right, hello guys, good luck. All three of you deserve to be here. Very exciting. Grace, you said that there was a chance you might have flipped the week that George went home to not go to Rocks. So I guess what would have made you flip, and if Lindsay A had gone home, what would have been your strategy going forward?
To be honest with you, I was not going to flip. I just said that. I knew going into that if George made it through that week, he was going to win the game. And I felt like my only chance was to sit there and say, I am not flipping. I think right away it was very obvious that you and Lindsay were going to. Obviously, I was working with Ian at that point. I knew he was going to. So sorry I had to lie about that, but no, I was not going to flip.
Ian, you told me a few weeks ago, and this was part of your opening statement. You said that your ideal final three would be you, Lindsay A, and Grace. And so now you have it. It worked out. And you've just gone through this whole final tribal council. What votes do you think you can feel secure about tonight?
The honest truth is that there are people out there that I would really hope would vote for me because of a number of reasons. Because we played the game similarly, because I trusted them and other people didn't, because I honestly think I did have a connection with them and some of the other people up here didn't. I mean, Jack, you told me once that you would vote for me if I got to the end. And, maybe that was a lie, but that's what you said. And you said you wanted the person to play the best game, and that's how I feel.
All right, good answer. Well, good luck to you guys.
Thank you, jury members. It was great hearing from you. So with that, we're going to go on to closing statements. Lindsay, go for it. You got 3 minutes.
I know sometimes when I'm talking, I shove my feet into my mouth, point proven. So I hope that over this, I managed to convince you guys that I wasn't just the GOAT, that I really can contend with these other people. You guys have been some of the coolest people I've ever had the chance to meet. And, when I think back on freshman year, obviously I'm going to think of the fact that I'm currently in my bedroom, which isn't great. But I think more than that, more than anything that has gone wrong or weird this semester, I'm going to think about this game. I'm going to think about that moment after a move's gone right and there's just this electricity in the air with you and your allies. You're all staring and you're all so excited. Thank you guys. And I hope y'all vote for me, but if you vote for Ian or Grace, there's no hard feelings, and I love y'all and I hope I get to keep seeing you guys around. Thanks for an awesome freshman year.
All right. Thank you, Lindsay. Next up is Ian. Your 3 minutes start now.
I've said it a million times tonight. I believe I played the best strategic game. It seems like people generally agree on that. Where people have disagreed, where people have issues with my gameplay, seems to come completely in the social aspect. And I think I've owned that tonight. I think I've owned my game the most of the three people up there. I've owned my strengths. I've owned my weaknesses. At the end of the day, Jack himself said it. Grace and Lindsay A are only sitting here because I chose to take them here, honestly. I had all the power those last couple of votes. I decided that against an Obsidian member, I wouldn't have any chance at all. I thought my best chance was against them. And, I basically made it happen. I could have gone along with George and Jack. I could have gone along with Lindsay and Jack. I didn't. But I knew George didn't want me out. I knew Jack didn't want me out. I knew Taylor probably didn't want me out. And those are social connections at the end of the day. I think I played the best. You have the outwit, outplay, outlast. I outplayed. I won 3 individual immunity challenges and the final fire-making challenge. I outlasted most of the other big threats in the game. And then outwit is a strategic aspect that I believe I really did quite well throughout the course of the game. Each week I had enough to keep it going, and I always had a path. I never lost sight of the path. I never lost sight of the track. I believe at the end of the day, I love all you guys. I love this game. I do believe I deserve to win. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ian. Last but not least, Grace, you're up. Your 3 minutes start now.
Okay, Ian, Lindsay again, I love you guys. I hope there's no bad blood between us. I can't wait to keep being friends after this game. And like I said at the very beginning, whoever wins is going to deserve it. Something you guys may or may not believe, I grew up the shy kid. Even my freshman year of college, I literally couldn't even join a club. I couldn't even speak up in my 10-person classes because I was too afraid to put myself out there. So applying for this game was one of the hardest, most out of my comfort zone things I've ever done in my entire life. And technically I applied for season 3 and didn't get casted, but it's fine. We don't have to talk about it. But sitting here arguing that I deserve to win largely because of my social game is absolutely insane to me, and no matter how the votes fall, I am so proud of myself in the game that I have played. You know, I'm sitting here arguing I made you guys like me, so I deserve to win, but I want you to know these relationships I built were so real and so genuine. George, let's watch Big Brother this summer, assuming it happens, hopefully. Justin, let's go out and write a fucking bestseller. Like, Noah, we need to have our completely non-Survivor phone call. Thages, we have a wedding to plan. Like I said, I do believe that I have played the best game and I deserve to win, but I know that means different things to everybody. If I keep going, I'm gonna start crying, but I love all you guys and thank you.
Thank you, Grace. So last time this season, you guys are going to vote. So yeah, we'll break you guys up in those rooms so that you can vote. Unlike at previous tribal councils, for this vote, everyone is voting for who they want to win the game. So you do want to hear your name called. The person with the most votes will be the winner of Survivor Michigan Season 6. I'll read the votes. First vote. Grace. Second vote. Grace. Third vote. Grace. That's 3 votes. Grace. No votes for Ian or Lindsay. 7 votes left. Fourth vote. Grace. Grace. The winner of Survivor Michigan Season 6, Grace. Congratulations.
Thank you guys.
Congratulations, Grace.
Holy shit, okay.
Yeah, congratulations, Grace.
I would like to vote for Grace. Despite not having talked with her during that venture, I didn't really get close to either Grace, Ian, or Lindsay, but just by looking at the different tribals and seeing everyone coming to the jury, I felt like she had the best game from more than one perspective, like strategically or even socially.
I'll be voting for Grace. Since day one, she came out with just unbelievable trust, showing us the idle clue, gave us loyalty throughout the game, and today I believe her that she was, kind of behind the scenes, an integral part of the moves that were made.
Ian, you said it yourself. You were instrumental in taking Grace and Lindsay to the end. Boy, did you choose wrong. Grace, you played a fantastic game.
I have decided I want to vote for Grace. Although we weren't very close in the game per se, I think the thing that really impressed me most about Grace is she made it through the game without getting a single vote, without any bad blood with anybody at all.
Close between Grace and Ian. I think both of them played a great strategic game. Grace strategically played a great game and a great social game. She was a huge threat, but under the radar most of the time.
You can't see it. Oh, yes. I think she just did a really overall good job in the game. She never got any votes, and I really respect that, because that's what I wanted to do. Good job, Grace.
We played this game together. I didn't know it was possible to trust anyone in the game of Survivor as much as we trusted each other. You played a fantastic game, and I couldn't be more happy or more proud to write your name down to win.
There was 2 very good potential winners here. My God, this person not only had a great perception of the game, but everybody wanted to work with them, no matter what the situation was. And I truly believe that Grace deserves this win and that she would be a great representation of this season.
I'm voting for Grace because not only did she play the best game, in my opinion, just social-wise, she also completely owned it. Ian, he said a lot of things that I just did not like. I do think Ian played a great game.
That was an incredible final tribal speech. Blown away. Oh my gosh. Not only was her social game reaffirmed, but Grace's strategy, it just went so unappreciated, I think. And I hope everyone else feels the same way. She deserves to win.